When blood was spilled in Washington, D.C., fingers pointed at a Twitch streamer. Could Hasan Piker, with 3 million followers, really be inciting violence? In recent weeks, the killing of 2 Israeli diplomats in Washington, D.C. reignited the Israel-Palestine debate in the U.S. Following the incident, Jonathan Greenblatt, head of the Anti-Defamation League, accused popular streamer Hasan Piker of fostering radicalization through extreme rhetoric. But how realistic are these accusations? Are Hasan Piker's criticisms of Israel a legitimate political stance or, as the ADL claims, a dangerous form of hate speech? Today will be an interesting day to say the least. The head of the ADL, Jonathan, just brought up Hasan Piker's name when talking about the museum attack.
Diplomats were killed. This is the guy that did the shooting. I believe that's him. There he is again. And there he is. So this is him talking right here. So he shot and killed 2 people.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Those 2 victims, again, learning that they were engaged to be married.
The young man purchased a ring this week with the intention of proposing to his girlfriend next week in Jerusalem. They were a beautiful couple who came to enjoy an evening in Washington's cultural center.
But all of us need to call it out. I'm thinking about the New York Times doing a gauzy profile a few weeks ago of this gamer, Hasan Piker, who regularly employs awful genocidal rhetoric. Like, extremists should not be empowered. People who spout prejudice should not be platformed. This is a moment when we need to look ourselves in the mirror and say, we've got to stop this, because the consequences.
Firstly, some criticism from certain circles regarding Hasan Piker being labeled as a gamer is noteworthy. A segment of the video game community argues that this label does not align with their own values. However, the core of this debate lies in the nature of Piker's political rhetoric. His commentary on Middle Eastern policies has been described by some as extreme. In particular, his stance on the Israel-Palestine conflict has led some analysts to accuse him of sympathizing with terrorist organizations, while Piker and his supporters defend it as legitimate political criticism. The impact of such rhetoric on society is a matter of debate in academic circles. Some experts argue that harsh political discourse can create conditions for radicalization, while others emphasize that acts of violence have far more complex socio-political causes. Now, Hasan responded to the situation on Twitter. Israel is an apartheid state doing a live stream genocide. I think it's wrong and dangerous to conflate these heinous actions with Jews. The Apartheid Defense League doesn't because they think they can improve Israel standing by silencing its critics. It won't change the truth.
Or something that's really bad. Like some sort of like really bad, like somebody gets killed, like kind of like the Luigi thing, but like maybe a little bit worse than that. It's like political. And if you have people on Twitch that are supporting this, theoretically, every single advertiser is going to leave the platform and it is going to be an instantaneous apocalypse situation. I said this shit was going to happen. This is people that are openly promoting terrorist organizations.
I believe what the Houthis are doing is a good thing. 10 toes down.
Right, let's give them a peace prize. Let's give them a peace prize.
I think they deserve it.
Yeah, I bet the shooter strapped us on. Oh, I never said that it was hit. Again, I never blamed, and I am not blaming it on him.
The saddest part of all this is that people are becoming increasingly radicalized and caught in a spiral of hate. How does randomly shooting people in America help Palestine? It's hard to understand the logic. Let's be clear, murder is never the solution. Now we're examining the shooter's motivations, what they were watching online, who influenced them. Rumors say they were a Twitch viewer, but this hasn't been confirmed yet. It needs to be investigated. As Asmin pointed out, Twitch's role in these events is also under scrutiny. The platform seems to be pouring fuel on the fire by ignoring extreme rhetoric. But of course, we can't establish a simple cause and effect like they watched A, so B happened. It's far more complex. Here's the thing. Back in April 2025, Asmin warned that if Twitch doesn't stop listening to its mod team that makes decisions based on politics, it's going to get in trouble. Here's the thing. People don't just wake up one day and say, I watched Hasan. Let me go storm an embassy. Radicalization is something that happens through a combination of many different factors. But Twitch's irresponsibility in this matter hasn't gone unnoticed. Because advertising deals usually operate on long-term cycles, the economic impact of problems on the platform isn't felt immediately. What happened during the first ad crisis was actually a warning sign, but some dismissed it as just a temporary wave. Now we're seeing that the inconsistency in moderation policies can build up over time and lead to bigger consequences. Looking at the platform's history, gaps in content moderation have repeatedly led to trust issues in the long run. And especially the failure to take a clear stance against extreme rhetoric can push advertisers away. The recent decline in ad revenue for many content creators is one of the clearest signs of this trend.
Does Hasan contribute to radicalizing people? Absolutely. 100% he contributes to radicalizing people. like without a doubt. And I'm sure that to some extent, so do I. Right? I'm not saying like I'm not special. Like this is the way that a lot of political rhetoric is, right? But like the point is that yes, 100% that happens. When you tweet out the picture of a gun that was used to kill a elected representative as a response to another elected representative, and then you have to delete the tweet, everybody knows why you deleted the tweet. It's because you knew you were going to get in trouble. It's because it was bad. Hasan has enjoyed a tremendous amount of preferential treatment by the media, and that preferential treatment has increased his image, and it's caused a lot more mainstream media to get attention on him. And now he's reaping the consequences of that with people naming him as a radicalizing force after a terrorist attack.
We need to approach the radicalization debate from a holistic perspective. Asmin's criticism of Hasan sharing a taser meme targeting a senator is an understandable reaction, and it's possible to disagree with that specific act. But reducing radicalization to a single figure oversimplifies a deeply complex sociological phenomenon. Let's underline a few key points. 1. Media figures' rhetoric undoubtedly influences society. 2. Radicalization is the product of layered factors such as economic inequality, identity politics, and personal trauma. 3. Social media algorithms in particular accelerate this process by pushing users toward increasingly extreme content. Hasan's tweet was certainly irresponsible, but claiming it alone led to a terrorist act is an unproven assumption. Looking from a broader perspective, all platforms and media actors need to take greater responsibility for the potential impact of the content they produce. What's really funny here is this. Hasan sits in front of the screen every day giving speeches about this is wrong, that is bad. But the moment someone criticizes him, he pulls the slander card. Isn't that a bit of a double standard? What's even harder to understand is why other streamers still collaborate with him. Think about it. The person you appear on screen with regularly makes extreme statements, labels anyone who disagrees as a white supremacist, turns into a victim the moment he's criticized. So why is he still being invited to shows? Probably for two reasons. 1, his large audience, ratings matter. 2, to appear neutral or open to all views. But real neutrality isn't about pleasing everyone. It's about standing on principle. Appearing next to Hasan at this point just makes you look like a drama addict. Bonus note, no one actually takes the gamer label seriously anymore. Trying to insult someone with gamer in 2025? Not even funny at this point. At the end of the day, this incident forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. Words spoken online can have devastating real-world consequences. Whether Hasan Piker's rhetoric crosses the line from political commentary into dangerous radicalization remains hotly debated. But the bigger question looms. Why do platforms like Twitch consistently fail to draw the line between free speech and Hasan Piker? Tomorrow, it could be anyone. What needs to change is how algorithms amplify outrage and how platforms evade accountability. So what do you think? Is Hasan's content legitimate criticism or a catalyst for violence? Is the ADL's response justified or an overreach? Let's debate in the comments. Remember, change only happens when we demand it. Share this video to keep the conversation going. Until next week, stay safe, stay critical, and keep questioning everything.